Across the globe, lesbian, gay, bisexual, queer, and transgender people are disproportionately affected by mental illness. Join us in this series as we explore why mental health matters. While data and statistics on mental health and LGBT people in the Caribbean is virtually non-existent, global research has proven that LGBTQ people are disproportionately affected by mental health issues when compared to their straight and cisgender counterparts. Contrary to antiquated belief that LGBT people are inherently mentally ill, it has been proven that higher levels of stigma, discrimination, and lack of access to basic human rights contribute to a higher level of mental illness.
So I definitely think that discrimination in the form of homophobia, biphobia, transphobia does really affect the community because they're constantly told negative things about themselves. The more you're told something like that, the more you start to believe it. So you have this reduced sense of worth because of these things that you're being told, how you're being treated. You're being told that you're nasty and disgusting, things like that. So it definitely takes a toll on, persons from the community's mental health.
In other words, butters marry butters. And liquors marry liquors. Now that shouldn't surprise you because the Barbados Labour Party is led by a self-proclaimed liquor. Self-proclaimed.
Discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression have been associated with higher levels of psychiatric disorders, substance abuse, and even suicide.
Homophobia, biphobia, transphobia have 100% direct effects on mental health and well-being. It's not an intrinsic disorder, or it's not intrinsic to their sexuality or gender identity, which has been a common misconception in that it's something wrong with you, quote unquote, that also leads to you being LGBTQ. In fact, it's because of the stigma and discrimination and the minority stress that these persons experience that leads to the mental health issues. So it's kind of the opposite of what people perceive to be the genesis of the issue. There have actually been studies done that show that minority stress affects physical health in the long term. So it's an unexplored area, relatively unexplored area. We need more studies, especially in the Caribbean and the Global South. But in the North, they've shown that persons have higher blood pressure, cardiovascular illnesses, etc., because of elevated stress and stress from discrimination and stigma. And obviously anxiety, depression, and all other untreated mental health issues eventually affect the body physically as well. So,
yeah. Transphobia in Barbados has been a big factor in my mental health. I'm suffering from depression, and hormones tend to make it a bit worse. So what I had to do was, when I was on hormones, I had to be on antidepressants before the hormones. And the psychiatrist I went to was awful. She pretty much rubbed her own personal beliefs onto me, and that made it worse because she actually made my depression worse. And my brain is kind of like this big ocean, and I'm sinking in it. So my antidepressants are like my life raft, barely keeping me above water. I recommended to another psychiatrist, and she was just absolutely wonderful. She was just great. I guess they'll talk to her now.
Cultural, social, and familial discrimination also negatively impact the mental health, well-being, and safety of LGBT people across the region.
I personally have most of all my friends, essentially my closest friends, have gone away to be, open and free with being who they are. Because in their households, and where they live, well, Barbados, you know, Christian and religious, it's equated with, you know, like being like homophobic and stuff. They can't be who they are to their parents or where they work, so they had to leave.
So if you don't have very supportive parents or a very supportive family, anybody can become, you know, depressed or to internalize the negativity that is around them. And I think that is true for many trans people and queer people across Barbados. So yeah, it makes it extremely difficult. And even as people grow up throughout Barbados, not having the tools to cope, even in adulthood, it is difficult. So this classroom then translates to the workplace, and it's sometimes a blow to anyone's confidence, and there are a whole heap of issues that queer people across the island or across the Caribbean really face because we have similar experiences.
There are several people that I know that are dealing with mental issues and have refused to go to get help because they know what the criticisms going to be. The family members, the public, the church.
Well, I came out the age I was out from 8, 9 years old. I was girly from small. But if they start coming out in my own skin, dressing with my clothes at the age of 17. And that was it for me. Wow. I'm a sex worker. I don't like saying it, but yes, I'm a sex worker. Every time I want to look for work, it's like somebody trying to pull me down, or somebody trying to back talk me, or somebody trying to do wickedness that I can't work in this country. So I always say that the only way I can survive, I'm not robbing nobody, I'm not breaking the stores, I'm not harming nobody for nothing on the shoes. I will do have this to survive. I was strong, but I had thoughts one to kill myself because getting bullied, caught as a young gay person, you and I had a boy to run to. I'm 26 right now. All the rest have me to die at the age of 12.
Take you through the... It's always good to talk to someone. And a psychiatrist knows what you're going through. And even if you just need an ear, once again, find a sister, find a brother, because we've been there. We know the tea. We know what's going on. And we can help you with talk. And then if you find you need someone more professional, just when the psychiatrist comes in, and there are different organizations where you can access such services and make yourself happy.